Seth, the next year. This was quite a switch for you, going from a parent of an SG team member to a Goa'uld. Bill Corcoran directed this one, and then I believe who wrote this episode? This was Jonathan Glassner's episode, one of the creators of the series. Tell us about Seth. Hail Dorothy.
Oh man, yeah. No, that was a trip. I didn't know I was cast for quite a while, and they were taking a long time. And then finally, what happens is you get a call from the wardrobe department before your agent even knows. It happens a lot because the wardrobe's right on top of it. Once they get the flag, they call you. And then I called my agent and said, "Hey, by the way," she goes, "Oh, those wardrobe people," and they were super cool. They noticed I had a pierced ear, so they gave me an earring. And that was nice. It's probably the last time I wore one. And that leather jacket was made of, I don't know if they do it the same way nowadays, but it was made of a number of different leathers. And but then getting on the set, it was a location shoot. So location shoots can be a little more tense because the crew has a lot more physical work to do. They have to get up earlier to get there with their equipment, unload the equipment, get it. So there's a lot of what I learned to do on sets is I'm pretty quiet until I'm spoken to. I'm just there because there's a lot of hubbub going on and you never know, what's happening. And they need to communicate with each other. But it was it was just the most professional, smart production. And everybody was super friendly. I had my little bevy of mostly females down at my feet.
Right.
And one of them said to me, she said, and it was during they were resetting the camera or something. I'm sitting there, and she goes, "Do you know what she does?" And I'm like, "No." She goes, "She's a Mountie." I'm like, "Oh." She goes, "Yeah, she looks like she's 12, right?" And I'm like, "Well, that's cool." And I didn't bother going into my experience, but everybody was just really chill. Wow. And during a break, I went outside, and I actually, I thought it was sunny because we had the lights blasting in the windows.
Into the windows.
Yeah, and it was drizzly and stuff, but still, I just want to get some air. And the DP, the director of photography, was out there, and he said, "Wow, you play a great bad guy." And I said, "Yeah." I started apologizing. I was like, I know, I do so many. He goes, "Don't say that." He goes, "Donald Sutherland did a lot, and then he tried to stay away from it, and he didn't work for a number of years, and then he went back to that, which led him into some of the more realistic roles that he wanted to do." That's and yeah, funny. It's like you go with what you got, so it's all cool, But on that set, it was, it moved pretty quickly. Everybody knew what they were doing, and we just rock and rolled and went along. I was on that shoot for 5 days. And the first shoot, Gamekeeper, was 1 day. So the 5-day run was very, very cool. And Mr. Anderson was very friendly. I talked more with Michael and Amanda because we had a break and we went to this break room for a while. And then I could, we reflected back on when we reflected back about his play, and Amanda was very, very friendly. And, Mr. Anderson has a lot to do. He's also executive producer, so he's running around making decisions and stuff. And I mean, that's an incredible workload. And then he keeps that wonderful smarmy acting going on the side. I mean, I ran into him once when I was jogging around Stanley Park, which is a 6-mile run. And again, it was a drizzly Sunday morning, and I'm coming along. Who's that? And as we pass each other, we're like, I look familiar, but we just kept going, Because I know for him that has to happen all the time, and I just, I'm sure he's just enjoying a break for a change, so I didn't want to bug him.
Well, Vancouver used to be such a small town, especially in the earlier, days of Stargate SG-1, and now it's just absolutely exploded.
Yes.
So. Yes. It's just become an industry town, and Stargate is one of those pillars that really brought it up with the professionalism that they had, with the money that they had into production, going into 17 seasons of this thing. It had to have just been a wild ride to just be a part of it, just to sit back and watch it take place, and then to do your thing.
And you realize it more later, at the time it's like, oh, I got a job, this is great. Right. And then as it goes, you go, wow, this thing, and what was I, season 2, 3?
Both 2 and 3. That's right.
So
and we are talking about it 22 years later.
Yeah.
And you haven't aged a day. I think you've got a sarcophagus somewhere.
Well, there's the other story I didn't tell you yet. When I went for that coffee, I saw the Stargate.
Yeah.
I just got back, dude.
That's funny. Jeez.
But I also love the story in the Seth one about the family, conflict between families, and Teal'c's asking, do you not unconditionally love your children? And it was very moving. That was a very moving episode with the coming togethers and the understandings. It makes me well up right now thinking about it. But brilliant on the part of the writers. Really great.
It is, and this is a real thing. I think that one of the things about this episode that really hits me hard is that cults harness hearts and minds and separate families and take loved ones from each other. And we've all you can see all kinds of examples of it where the parents will go to the police, and police can't do anything.
Right.
What do you want us to do? You want us to we have no reason to infringe on this group of people's rights and pull someone out there who doesn't want to be found.
Right.
And what do? I had a fifth grade. I had a teacher who lost a child to one of these groups, and she didn't see her for years. I don't even know what happened, but I mean it's a real thing.
Yeah. I think a person needs a lot of money, and you hire a special team of people to go in and kidnap them. That's the only way it can happen. But I think that same scenario can happen within a couple. When somebody works somebody over and they kind of aren't themselves anymore, and then you're like, where did my sister go, or whatever it is? You know what I mean? I know that's a different thing, but it's still in the psychological realm. It still exists, I think, in many ways.
I have some fan questions here for you, if you don't mind getting into some of these. General Maximus, how did the experience on Stargate compare to some of the other projects of the same scale that you've done?
I think, all of them are professional. I worked on another sci-fi show there. I had 12 episodes. I was reoccurring, and it was a heavy prosthetic job and all this kind of stuff. And I asked one of the 8, and I'd worked 3 other roles on it before. And
First Wave, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Right. And I decided at the end of that one I was going to leave town because just to try something new. But I asked the AD, the first assistant director, I said, I noticed like directors work differently. And he said, there's 3 ways. He goes, there's a director who knows exactly what they want to shoot, and they do that. And the day goes pretty well. It can go a little bit over. Then there's a director who doesn't know what they're really doing. They don't understand editing or framing. And those days go over time. People get hurt because they'll be running, as characters running through the woods, trips on something, they're tired.
Yep.
The crew's
start
tired.
getting exhausted. Yep.
Then there's the director who knows exactly what they're doing, and they've made a shot list. Sometimes a storyboard. But that way, the shot list, then the makeup people can be ready for what's coming next. The wardrobe people, if there's armament, that person's ready, and everything's bam, bam. And that's the way it should be, because there's although it's odd because a lot of TV directors come out of nowhere, and I'm like, wow, how do these people get this job? But anyway, so Stargate has that down. Most of the episodes on First Wave had that down because it's time and money and health. Right. And the unions are very strong, and they help us too.
Thanks for watching this clip from Dial the Gate. You can find the full live stream shows on our YouTube channel or visit dialthegate.com for the complete schedule. See you on the other side.